to get back to the Donald Trump event. As we just reported, Donald Trump had a bit of a close call just this morning, a little while ago, with a flying object. Somebody threw something at him while he was on stage at an Ohio rally. This was his first appearance since the conflagration in Chicago last night. Here to weigh in on that and more is Kevin Cirilli, a political reporter with Bloomberg. Kevin, you were just at that rally. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, so Mr. Trump was speaking on stage, and as that happened, he seemed to be alerted by a member in the front row of the crowd that there was something going on behind him. At that moment, Donald Trump immediately turned his head behind him as a swarm of 4 security agents rushed him. It was, as you described, a close encounter that has never happened before. I've been covering him for several months now. Of course, it comes just hours after the Chicago unrest that we saw, forcing him to postpone a rally. He described last night as a planned attack, quote unquote, from leftist organizations such as MoveOn.org. He urged his rival, Senator Bernie Sanders, to urge his supporters to stop. He also said that they would not be silenced, that his supporters would not be silenced, and vowed to, quote unquote, fight back against any effort to silence their movement.
Back to this little issue we just saw moments ago. Did you see anybody in the crowd who was apprehended, or did you see what they were attempting to throw, if indeed they were trying to throw something?
It was unclear exactly what the scuffle was behind. Obviously, this took place in an airport hangar. There were hundreds of people gathered there. There was an immediate response from security officials, though at this point it is unclear whether they were local or Secret Service. I have reached out, of course, trying to get more details on that, but immediately whomever was responsible for that was quickly moved away from the crowd, and Donald Trump continued on with his remarks. He made a light, humorous joke. He thanked the authorities as well as the police for their quick action. But as you mentioned, this clearly, in light of what has taken place in the past 24 hours, this clearly was something that caught everyone off guard.
Kevin, you are aware of reports and anecdotal evidence that there appears to be more and more organization to the Trump protests. I've been struck by how he is interrupted now routinely, and I would say in some rallies it's every 5 minutes, in other rallies it's every 3 minutes. There appears to be greater and greater orchestration. Is that your sense, having been to many of these rallies?
You know, I spoke last night after the Chicago unrest with a spokesperson for MoveOn.org, and they were quite candid in their remarks to me. They sponsored some of the banners that were printed at the rally. They were in touch with the student organizers at the university who were planning some of the protests. This, according to a MoveOn spokesperson, he told me that they sent out invitations on their listserv. In addition, they didn't. So they were, helping people, what they said, peacefully protest. But clearly, ever since New Orleans a week ago, when that rally took place, there seems to be a different type of mood at these rallies. People, the story that often doesn't get told is that there are many people, the majority of people who are coming to these rallies, many of them, some are even undecided voters, and they want to hear what Donald Trump has to say.
Kevin, I'd like to chat with you a bit more, but we're flat out of time here. Keep us posted if you learn anything more about what happened at the rally there. Thank you. Kevin Cirilli, Bloomberg political reporter.